Ikhtilaf, Tanawwu, that there's a diversity of opinions. So they are different in terms of being the interpretation, but they are just diverse in their nature. But the other thing is called diverse and contradictory. They call Ikhtilaf, Tadad. When something is different, but at the same time it is contradictory. For example, if one person says that this ayah means that Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, just for example, okay, that this ayah means that Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam will never be martyred, for example. And the other scholar says that this ayah means that the Prophet will be martyred. Now, this is not diversity. One of them is wrong because it is contradictory. So there is no such thing which we can say contradiction. We cannot entertain that. But as far as, for example, if one scholar says that this ayah means that Prophet will never be martyred, and other scholar says that this ayah means the Prophet will be victorious. Now, apparently they are two different, right? One is saying that he will not be martyred. The other one is saying that he will be victorious, right? Or he will have a victory over his enemies. So apparently these are two different things, but they are supplementing each other. They are not contradicting each other. They are one in addition to the other. So this kind of diversity is found in our tafaseer, and this is welcomed. But when it comes to Mirza Ghulam Ahmad Qadiani, he is not being just diverse in opinion or one additional opinion which can be supplemented with the others. No, he is coming up with the contradictory ideas. For example, now I give you the Quranic example. Without exception, all Islamic scholars, without exception, all Islamic scholars, their understanding is that when Qur'an says وَمَا قَتَلُوهُ وَمَا صَلَبُوهُ, that he was neither killed nor he was crucified. Without exception, this وَمَا صَلَبُوهُ is understood that Prophet Isa alayhi salam was not fixed on the cross. And period. Nobody can bring a single authentic tafseer, or you can say a credible, reliable tafseer from Islamic sources in which any scholar, any Sahabi ever said that this ayah means that Isa alayhi salam will be fixed on the cross, but he will not die on the cross. There's no such thing. So now you can see the entirety of Ummah, all our scholarship saying that this ayah means Isa alayhi salam was not put on the cross, or this verse means that Isa alayhi salam was not put on the cross. And then Mirza Ghulam Qadiani is saying Isa alayhi salam was put on the cross. So this is not diverse opinion. This is not just something in addition to what they have said. It is not something which is supplementing to what they have said. No, it is contradictory. So Umar Bhai, is this point clear? Umar, are you with us? I think there's some technical issue. Umar, can you still hear me?
Brother Imtiaz, I had stepped away for 2 minutes.
All good, bhai. Are you back now?
Yes, I'm back.
Oh,
have you done the introduction?
Okay, so you were away. Okay, no problem.
Yeah, 2 minutes away. Yes, brother Imtiaz, I was hearing from the background.
Okay. So did you get the point I mentioned about diversity and contradiction?
Yes, exactly. You said that it supplements, but Mirza Ghulam Ahmad gave the completely different translation of Wama Salabu.
No. Umar Bhai, we should not use the word different. Like, for example,
contradiction.
Like
Yes, contradiction. Sorry, contradiction.
Contradictory. Not
yes, exactly.
Different opinion, as we all know, alhamdulillah, whoever studied the ilm of tafsir, we all know that when it comes to different, there are certain conditions. If those conditions are met, different is welcome. For example, if it is within the scope of the Arabic language used in that verse, that's one condition. Number two, if it is not going against the consensus of how Ummah understood that verse, not against one person. If it's not going against the consensus or the majority position of the Ummah on that verse. And last, you can add more, but at least the third main point is that it must not be against any other teachings of Islam or any other beliefs of Islam. So it is within the scope. It is not going to basically contradict with how Ummah has understood that verse already for the past centuries. On the top of that, it is not going to be going against any of the set principles of Islam or Sharia. For example, if somebody comes up with a tafseer for which they can use the lexicons, they can establish that, and apparently they are not contradicting anybody in their tafseer, but at the same time, if they are coming up with something which is unacceptable from Islamic Sharia, then it will be rejected. So that's in simple terms, they call it tafseer bil rai mahmud and tafseer bil rai mazmoom. That there is one tafseer which is, even though it's through opinion, but it is mahmud, it's praiseworthy. Why? Because it is within the scope. It is only supplementing the previous understanding, and it's not going against any principles of Islam. But it becomes mazmoom, condemned, when it is either outside of the scope of the Arabic language used in that ayah, or it is going against the understanding of the majority position of the Ummah, or it is going against any of the set principles in Islam. Clear, Umar, by this point?
Yes, yes. I did mention, Brother Imtiaz, earlier that we have different tafaseer, but not contradictory. I did mention that point actually earlier. I was saying that this different tafaseer add value to each other. They complement each other. They add flavor. It's like you can eat you can eat something, and somebody else can eat the same thing with extra flavor. It doesn't mean that you ate two different things. Like you ate the same thing, but they have one has extra flavor, which doesn't change the nature of that meal. The same thing, of course, maybe not the correct example, but the same thing that Mirza Ahmad gave a different contradictory tafsir. Why? Because like Brother Imtiaz, wama salabuhu, he was never crucified. And if you look at the meaning of crucified, Mirza Ahmad went to the Christian definition. The Christian definition is that dying on the cross, but that is not the literal definition. The literal crucify means to put the figure, the body on the cross, to put it on the cross, on the wall, the tree, and all that. The Quran says clearly, wama salabuhu. Mirza Qam said, no, salabuhu, but not died. Salabuhu walam yamut. So he came up with it. And subhanAllah, even with this wrong interpretation, he also contradicted himself in his own works. If you look at his own Arabic, subhanAllah, he says that somebody was crucified and then somebody was killed and in his own works. Subhanallah, that is how Allah exposes liars, and that is why I say subhanallah, summun bukmun umyun, that these are the people that they have eyes but they cannot use them, that read, like focus. Look at Mirza's own words, like works, that when Bashir asks people to read, when we ask you to read his works, wallahi we mean it, because we know the best da'wah we can do to Ahmadis, because now they're portraying us as anti-Ahmadis, mukhalifin jama'ah and all this. The best da'wah you can ask an Ahmadi and he can take the best sincere advice to read Mirza Ghulam Ahmad's book. Don't cherry pick. Of course, if you read cherry picking, then yeah, of course you'll end up being a hardcore blind follower. Read with an argument. The claims that we make, follow up, read 10 pages before, read 10 pages after. There is a book called Why Ahmadiyya is Not Islam. It's a very, very nice book. Brother Imtiaz, we are working on that book. We are translating it to Arabic. Alhamdulillah, in English.
It is available in English already. Yeah, this is the actual copy.
What's that? Who's the author? No, not this one, Brother Imtiaz. There's a new one.
No, this English. Is the book. Ahmadiyya Islam Kyun Nahi? Why Ahmadiyya is not Islam? He's Alhamdulillah a good friend. He actually, as I can show you.
What's his name?
His name is Mufti Munir Alawi.
Yes, that's the one. It was released in English last year.
Yeah, I
It is
know.
in Urdu, brother Imtiaz.
Yeah, this is the actual book in Urdu. He wrote in Urdu.
You should send to me if you
Inshallah.
have the PDF, because there's a brother, they're translating from the English to Arabic, so it's better to translate from Urdu to Arabic direct.
Yeah, this I think I can maybe I can find. Actually, I just spoke yesterday with
I have his number. I will ask him. I didn't know that he wrote it in Urdu. I thought he wrote it in English. It's a very good book. Anyway, so we don't get distracted. It's a very good book. It's a very friendly tone. Please look at it. In the introduction, he said, he listed all this argument. He said that, okay, Ahmadis will first say, oh, it is out of context. If you show that it's in the context, then he will say, I'm not a alim. I need to ask a murabbi. No, Allah has given you intellect. You don't have, like subhanallah, they quoted that the ayah, ittakhadhu rahbanahum wa arbabam min dunillah ahbarahum wa arbabahum. He quoted that, and it applies for them. It applies to them. The their murabbis, Rahil and Razi, were quoting this. It applies to them. That they're the ones who follow the murabbis.
Actually, Quran says, "Fas'alu ahla zikri in kuntum la ta'lamun."
No, that's cherry picking. That's after you. That doesn't mean everything, but that's when you have to do your own study. You know, there's the saying.
Actually, what I'm saying is that in one place, Quran is saying that they made their Rahman and Ahbar as God beside God. But the same Quran says that Fas'alu ahla zikri. It means that Quran is not saying that you cannot consult or you cannot learn from. Quran is giving us a principle, and the principle is, as we all agree, actually, it's very ironic that when it comes to principle, they don't want to discuss that. We have the same principle. They agree with the principle that only if something is going against the clear teachings of Quran and Sunnah, they will be rejected from any scholar.